All right, y'all. So I'm down here fixing a common issue with the C6 Corvette. I guess the hydraulic clutch line, when you put on aftermarket headers, it can burn through that rubber piece. You can see it tucked away there. I already cut it off. Okay, you can see I cut the line out. Still use this connector. I'm just gonna cut off this metal hard line here with this. I bought an AN fitting that goes onto these this 4mm hose, hardline hose, and it's going to adapt and go into the stainless steel hose and run to this line we need it to. Okay, so this is what caught on fire. The heat shielding it had on it was just probably drenched in the hydraulic oil, which is flammable, and basically touching the headers. And if you look at this line, you can see there's a tear in it, right? It'll focus. Let me see. You can see it right there, right next to my thumb. You see the little slit. I wish, yeah, you could see that. There's a little slit in it from the heat. It caused it to, burn through the rubber hose and lose all hydraulic pressure, shoot out the fluid, drench this in fluid. This is touching the header and it burned through. This is the contact point actually, right here. And caught on fire. Had to put it out with the fire extinguisher. But other than that, I mean, at least I'm fixing it now, and it's not going to be a problem in the future with the way I'm going to fix it. So like I said, I have this little pipe cutter tool here that I'm going to take on this hard line and just go ahead and cut that off. And I'll get back to you guys when I do that and when I have all the fittings and everything tomorrow. All right, we're out here. We're about to wrap these headers. Or header. I'm only going to wrap this one for now. I got this titanium wrap, Amazon. Let's go ahead and get to wrapping this. I'll show you guys when it's done. I got the new stainless steel braided hose for the clutch line. I already got the hard line cut off, ready to put on the AN fitting. Yeah, let's get to wrapping this header. Joe, here's the compression fitting on the hard line. Nice and snug and secured on there. Ignore the paint markings, marring. I had to use a secondary wrench. I do have this AN wrench, but you still have to use the second one, so I don't have two, I only got one. And I don't have the vice grip, but we're setting up the AN line now. Here's one connection on. I gotta measure the length, cut it to size, and put on the other AN fitting here. I'm thinking about just using a barbed AN fitting into the hose on the car, but I do need a -4 to -4 male union just to connect the two. But I'm considering cutting the other hard line on the car to put on this other compression fitting onto the other side. But I'm still thinking about it. I don't know, I might go get a union from Home Depot possibly. Maybe they have just a brass one, and just hook that up instead. That way I can just keep the hose on there so that it's easier to do than getting under there and cutting the hard line. I'm gonna try and see if I can cut the hard line. I'm gonna have plenty of hose, and then I have this Dremel here that can cut through it. But yeah, I'm gonna get down there and see if I have enough room just to cut it and then put on this other compression fitting. If not, then I'll just stick with the barbed connection. All right, I did take a Dremel and just drilled off the dremeled off the hard line from the tubing, because I could not get this barbed hose fitting to fit. Oh, that's not it. Yeah, this just wasn't going in because of the how stiff the braiding is inside of this hose. I mean, it is a pressure hose, so I mean, as expected. But it's gonna be safer anyways to use this compression fitting. This one here, it's rated up to 1400 PSI, so this is gonna be more than enough for this clutch system. Now all I gotta do, I already got the AN line ran. Obviously a bunch of slack so I can see where I'm gonna route it. Now I see the length I'm gonna need. I'm gonna mark it and cut it off and make sure it has enough slack to be pinned up against this firewall here somehow, some way. I'm probably gonna angle this up like so and then have this go up there. I did already hook up the, you can see where the connection goes to the slave cylinder. You can't see past under the brake booster, but it is connected already. There's the AN fitting there, hooked up. Now I just got to figure out the length of this, cut it, and put on the other compression fitting, and we can put it back together, bleed the system, put a vacuum to it, make sure it's not leaking at all, and yeah. All right, we got our AN line here, all set up and ready to be put onto the connections. The one down there and the one up here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on. I'll show you guys what it looks like. Our hydraulic clutch line is back in there, hooked up. Compression fitting to hard line on each end, right over here. And then I had to fab up a AN line here. Cut it a little too short, but it was good enough to reach. And I tapped in a hole here to screw this in. I didn't tighten down all the way because I don't want to pinch the hose. But yeah, that's all it took to get that. Now it's way more heat resistant. Still waiting on the fire shielding wrap. I'm gonna still put some on here, but I could always put that on later. But yeah, she's fixed. Just gotta put the rest back together, bleed the system, put a vacuum to it, make sure it's not leaking, and we should be good. All right, headers are on. Everything's connected. You can see the line down up in there. If it'll focus, right in there. You can see it's like barely not touching the header anymore, but better than before now that it's stainless steel and the headers are wrapped. You can see the black AN fitting running with the clutch bleeder line right in there. Routed good. Good thing I put on that little clamp to pin it against the firewall. Otherwise it would be touching the header still and we'd have a problem, but it's not. Everything's connected. Putting on the wheel now and start her up, take her for a test drive.